Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and you are listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. This is episode number 77 of the podcast, and if you're joining us today for the very first time, we will bid you welcome. If you're coming back for a repeat visit, we say, hey, thanks for checking back in with us. And to all those involved, we will extend to you, as always, the customary laurel and a hearty handshake. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Thanks for supporting. And hey, thanks for always being there, Doc. Episode number 77. Isn't that cool? I dig it. You know, we're getting ready to come up on the 3rd year anniversary of the program. Isn't that cool? The very first episode of Tom Clark's Main Event debuted in 2014. Actually, August 18th to be more specific, was the first ever program. My God, it's been 3 years. It's crazy, isn't it? Our sister podcast, Tom Clark's 30-Minute Fun Show with myself and my son Wesley, just celebrated its 1 year anniversary. So that was very cool. We here at Boink Studios are getting older by the day, folks, but it's all good. So, Hey again, what's up? I like to babble quite a bit. You guys know that, right? But yeah, welcome to the program. Glad you are with us. Means a lot that you're here. We do appreciate it as always. And for all of you who out there who have sent emails and hit me on Twitter and stuff on direct message and asked me, hey Tom, what's up? Where's the next episode of the show? Here we are. What's up? So, yeah, sorry for the delay. It has been a while since we've spoke. In fact, the last time we came to you was June 25th, so it's been over a month. My apologies on that. Yours truly has had an extremely hectic schedule. No excuses, obviously, but it is what it is. And, yeah, so we're not going to waste a lot of time here. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot happened in the past month or so. And we're going to get right down to it. So this time, the main event is the road to SummerSlam. Now, for those of you out there that know me, you know that I am a full-time featured columnist for Bleacher Report. And you can also see my stuff on the Camel blog and Sportskeeda, both of which I have yet to contribute to for a while. As I said, it's been a hectic couple of several weeks, I should say. But you can always find all of the Boink Studios material on boinkstudios.com. It's real easy, man. If you don't feel like going to Bleacher, you don't want to go to all these other different websites, and you don't feel like going to iTunes for whatever reason, or Google Play for whatever reason to listen to the shows, you can find all the links at boinkstudios.com. It's real easy. By the way, the shows are now on iHeartRadio. So there you are. And that's pretty cool. We're glad to be there. And yeah, good times. And I say all that to say this: the road to SummerSlam is exciting. And for me, SummerSlam, the company's 3 big pay-per-view events during the course of the year. Of course, the granddaddy of them all is WrestleMania. But then you have SummerSlam. And to me, the third one is Money in the Bank. and it is that way because Money in the Bank, excuse me, that's awesome. Money in the Blank, that's great. Fill in the blank, right? I'm going to try to make a joke out of that. It's not going to work. It is what it is. But Money in the Bank is long-term ramifications for the company, because whoever wins, pulls down the briefcase, is probably going to be the next champion. That next guy right now is Baron Corbin, who's really been taking it to Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style, who is now being referred to as the Artist. And since we're talking about the road to SummerSlam, let's go ahead and get in it right now, shall we? What are your feelings on Shinsuke Nakamura? Now, any of you guys out there who follow New Japan, who have been fans of that company for longer than 10 minutes, know that Shinsuke Nakamura is a former 3-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He was also Intercontinental Champion. And he was the face of the company, one of the faces of that company. And Nakamura is a different kind of cat. And you guys all know that. And for those of you who are not familiar with his work in New Japan, if all you know him from is WWE, you're doing yourself a great disservice by not looking him up on YouTube. Trust me. And by the way, if you don't have the New Japan app, New Japan World, dude, it's $10 a month. Okay, it's actually cheaper minus the tax than WWE Network is per month. You have to toggle the website back and forth between Japanese and English. It's a very small thing to do. And a lot of times the commentary is Kevin Kelly from Ring of Honor, Kevin Kelly and Cyrus. So there on the off chances you'll have Japanese commentary, dude, who cares? I mean, you can see what's happening in the ring and you can decide for yourself if you like it or not. But New Japan is I enjoy the product, and I'm not going to get off on too much of a rant here because this is not a New Japan themed show this time around. But I will say this: there's a lot of things in WWE that I don't like personally as a wrestling fan that maybe you guys wouldn't have a problem with. I don't like the fact that there's no adherence to kayfabe, that kayfabe is a distant memory in that company. That kind of thing bothers me. I don't like that there's too much mic time. And, those kind of things upset me quite a bit, and they always have. WWE's insistence on referring to pro wrestling as sports entertainment, that's something I can't really ever get over. I deal with it. I don't let it ruin my day or anything like that. But, by the way, in case you can't tell, in case you're hearing me cough all up in your ear, my apologies. I've been battling a cold for 2 straight weeks, and that's one of the reasons why we've not come back to you with the show. So I've got a bottle of water, and it's all good. So just want to throw that out there to you. But, so yeah, I have issues with WWE. However, I also have issues with New Japan. Let me tell you what New Japan is doing right before I decide to smack them around a bit. New Japan doesn't care too much about storylines. Now, I don't mean that negatively. They don't care a lot for drama, okay? You don't have to be too concerned with backstage spots. You don't have to be too concerned with, hey, let's show you what happened last week. Or, hey, let's show you what happened 10 minutes ago. And they replay it 9 times in an hour. Because that's just not their thing. New Japan is about getting it done in the ring. Okay? They are an actual pro wrestling company. Now, is pro wrestling entertainment? Well, of course it is. Of course it is. We're not stupid here, folks. But at the same time, New Japan focuses on the business. They focus on the actual pro wrestling. And if that's important to you, as it's important to me, then you'll dig New Japan. Okay? Not only that, they have some of the best talent in the world today. Kazuchika Okada, is the New Japan IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world. And he is, pound for pound, in my opinion, the best wrestler on the planet. I wrote that piece on BoinkStudios.com. Go check it out. In my humble opinion, he is the best worker in the world right now. And I really believe that. And they have some amazing talent. Shibata, who is... I think the jury's still out on whether or not Shibata is going to be able to go anymore. But Naito is there. Tetsuya Naito. I don't want to mispronounce his name. He's there. He's one of those heels that you love to hate. He's the most over heel in that company by far. And there's a lot of other guys. There's Michael Elgin from Ring of Honor. The Young Bucks are there, which that's a whole other topic, bro. I mean, I can't even really get into that. I even threw a Vince Russo bro in there for you. Connect the dots. But, but nah, man, I'm not going to crap too much on those guys. They're making money and they're on TV. You know what I'm saying? So, it's hard to hate on a talent that's making money and getting featured. And, you could talk about what they've done to the business, how they've affected it, how they've affected that company and whatnot. And I get that. But like I said, there's time and place for that. We won't take it here. But, there's a lot of great talent in that company. There really is. Nakamura was one of them. Anderson and Gallows were 2 of those guys. AJ was there. Finn Balor, of course. So, Kenny Omega's there now. And you don't have to watch New Japan to know who Kenny Omega is if you're a pro wrestling fan, because, you either love Omega or you hate him. Okay? And I am of the opinion that Omega is a little too goofy for my liking. Doesn't mean I don't respect his ability in the ring, but it's not my bag what he does. And there's things about the blow up doll. If you don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube it. And if you're a hardcore pro wrestling fan, try not to break your phone when you see it. But it can be crazy. So there are things about New Japan I don't like. They have strong style. Now if you've heard, Nakamura being referred to as the king of strong style, which WWE is pretty well attempting to put a stop to. Okay, and you'll know what I'm getting at here in a moment. But strong style refers to the New Japan style, and strong style simply means that you hit a little bit harder, a little bit more oomph behind it, a little bit more force. You stand your ground. It's a man's man kind of style. It's like throwing hands back in the day, like the big guys with like the striped tank tops and the curled up mustaches and the two fists up in the air, like Bully, that kind of thing. That to me is what strong style is. It's like a test of strength, a test of will. You can't move me from where I'm at. You know what I mean? You can't move me a step backward. I'm standing my ground kind of thing. And I can take punishment, and we'll see how much punishment you can take. That's why a lot of guys in New Japan have cauliflower ears. The closed fist is illegal. It's not to say that the American guys aren't throwing it. They are. But for the most part, the New Japan guys are not throwing closed fists. So they're throwing forearm shivers, forearm shots to the side of the head. Well, you do that enough, the ear's going to get cauliflower, which is exactly what's happened. So a lot of those guys in that company have identical ears. They got matching ears right now. The problem I have with strong style is this. When you stand there and take 12 forearms to the head and you never fall down, then you watch a match where a guy takes a forearm to the head and he sells it and he hits the turnbuckle and takes a bump on the mat. Then what did I just see? Do you see where I'm going with that, man? There are moments in that company when, a chain of moves happens and you're like, okay, that was ridiculous. Like, eventually that guy's going to fall down. There's a guy named Minoru Suzuki. And again, my apologies if I'm butchering his first name. But I'm still trying to decide how I feel about this cat. But he's a different kind of guy. He's a veteran. And he basically laughs off everything you give him. It doesn't matter what you give him, he laughs it off. And I just don't care for that. That exposes the business, in my opinion. So see, there are several things about New Japan that get on my nerves. However, if you want to be a more well-rounded, easy for me to say, well-rounded pro wrestling fan, I highly suggest you get the New Japan app and give it a shot. No commitment. You can quit after a month if you want to, whatever you want to do there. But, if your only exposure to the business is WWE, do yourself a favor and watch some of the programming, folks. There's a lot of other wrestling out there, trust me, okay? I'm not ditching on WWE here or anything like that. I mean, I write about that company all the time. So, at the same time, however, you have to, keep your views varied and keep your tastes varied as well, is my humble opinion. So, yeah, I take issue with the way Nakamura has been booked in WWE. That's what I'm getting back to. The King of Strong Style. He is slowly but surely being transformed into what WWE is calling the artist. The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, here's my issue with this. I get that they want to do something different. The King of Strong Style is highly associated with New Japan. New Japan's strong style, as I just told you. I get that. I totally get that. But WWE is taking the focus off the wrestling and putting it on the performance because that's what WWE does. Now, I'm not upset about that because I expect that. But at the same time, King of Strong Style is a gigantically massive, strong nickname for Shinsuke. However, he's not massively strong the way he's booked. And when the sing-song voice comes out, I'm getting critical of something. I've had that pointed out to me lately too, by the way, but it's all good. But that's what we're talking about here, folks. Nakamura his booking is just, it's been atrocious. I've written a piece about that lately. Again on boingstudios.com. Feel free to go check it out. I think that his performance at Battleground against Corbin. I think they had a decent match. They had a much better match on SmackDown. And, Nakamura was made to look silly. Now, here's my thing. If the pay-per-view stage is so important, and it is, right? We've all been told that. We all believe that. And it's true to a large extent. But if that's the case, if it's so important, if it's so much more important than what you see on TV supposedly, then why did Nakamura look rough on pay-per-view but look great on SmackDown? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't get that. Shinsuke Nakamura's poor booking continues at WWE Battleground, published on July 24th, hence the column I just told you about. Go check it out, fool. Go read it. I mean, not right now, because, you're listening to me right now. I mean, I suppose you could read that and listen to me at the same time. If you can multitask. Is that still even a thing, by the way? Do people still say that? I mean, I say it, but who am I, all of a sudden, to be throwing catchphrases at you and establishing trends? Although I could do it. Don't put me to the test. I'm capable. But Nakamura, in my humble opinion, deserves better than what he's been getting. I don't understand the odd booking, the curious booking, the pathetic booking that he's had. Nakamura could cinch up Baron Corbin and Baron wouldn't be able to get out. Now, the business is not a shoot. And we're well served to remember that. It's not MMA, it's not UFC. So he doesn't have to do that, nor should he do that. If he wants to get booked tomorrow, he has no business shooting on anyone. Hello, Brock Lesnar. No disrespect, just saying. You want a job in the business, you want to continue to get booked, and if you want guys to be willing to work with you, you have to play the game, play along. So I'm not suggesting that. However, I do know this. Nakamura has not been allowed to cut loose and be himself since he got there. And I think until that moment comes, you're going to see some issues. Now, what is Nakamura's road to SummerSlam? If we can get back on topic. Nakamura has an upcoming match with your boy John Cena. And whoever wins that bout faces Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. Boy howdy, Nakamura went from what's going on to holy God, he could be the next WWE champion. Okay, so clear my throat for that one. I'm back and forth on this. I got a piece coming out soon. Keep your eyes open on my thoughts and feelings on Nakamura becoming the number one contender and facing Jinder. Here's my issue. As much as I want to see Nakamura do well, and it's a lot, it feels like WWE's going from 0 to 60 in like a minute or like a second. I mean, that's how it feels. And in any other instance, maybe I'll be okay with that, but this is Nakamura here. And you either have to go with this guy and do the right thing. In other words, let him do what he does. Let him be himself and totally go with it. Or you cut him loose. And what I mean by cut him loose is let him go. Because Nakamura, in my opinion, a lukewarm Nakamura is not the same guy. There are guys that have come through that company that can be lukewarm. And that's no disrespect. But they can be, the switch is turned down just a couple of notches and they turn up in the big matches. Do you know what I'm saying? Nakamura's turned on all the time, man. And like the moment you turn that switch down, he's not the same guy. And so he sells an awful lot. That debut match against Ziggler, I just about a quarter of the way into it, I'm shaking my head at the TV going, what am I watching? What am I seeing here? I was beyond disappointed. Now, I did not expect Ziggler to get squashed. And it's really unfair to ask Dolph to accept a squash match, even against Shinsuke. However, I think I would have put it to Dolph like this. This is Nakamura's show. This is his coming out party, and he's going to take this match. And I don't know who called the match. Seemed like Dolph was calling it. Maybe I'm wrong, but Nakamura does what's best for business, okay? If anyone wanted to know how he would react or how he would act or carry himself outside of New Japan and within the walls of WWE, you found out. You've been finding out. He is a soldier, and he does what he's told. Because he plays by the rules. He's a team player. Guess what's wrong with all that? Nothing. It's not a slight against Nakamura at all. But my issue becomes, again, when you turn the dial down, you have a different guy. So do I think that he should win the match against Cena? Well, here it is. again, you either go full throttle or you don't do anything. So I guess if you're asking me, should he win? Because if not, he's going to go back to this crap again. Then yeah, by all means, let him win. However, at the same time, it concerns me that you're doing, again, you're taking a guy with lukewarm booking and you're putting him on top. And my concern is that he will not be able to maintain. Nakamura can maintain any type of fan following you want. Nakamura can maintain his popularity, and he can grow a legion of fans, my friend. Make no mistake about it. He's charming. No matter what anyone says about the English, he's charming and he's witty and he's funny. He's clever and he's hip. Look at him. But again, when you turn the volume down, you completely change him. And he would be able to maintain if allowed to be himself. However, the way WWE has been booking him, he couldn't maintain anything. And that's the truth. That's the God's truth. He won't be able to maintain. They'll turn on him. And if they don't turn on him, they'll get bored with him. They'll say, oh, it's him again. Well, he just does the same thing every match. And he doesn't really win that much. It's 50-50 booking. And I'm not saying he's been going on a losing streak. I'm not saying that at all. It could be a lot worse than it is. And maybe I'm one of those guys that, I'm calling it before I should, maybe. And maybe I'm panicking and pressing the panic button when there's no need to. I've done it before. We're all human. We've all done it, I'm sure. Maybe it's too early to tell. And I pointed that out in my column, actually, on BoingStudios.com. Nice little plug there. Did you like that? So maybe it is too much too soon, or I'm calling it too soon, or whatever you want to say. But should he beat Cena? Corbin might interfere. I don't know. If he faces, should he face Mahal, right? Should he beat Cena? If the answer is yes, he's going to win, then let him go over and let him go to SummerSlam and show off against Jinder Mahal, who, by the way, has come such a long way since he won the WWE Championship. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about Jinder Mahal's road to SummerSlam. Again, pardon me. Got the water. It's working. But it's still rough. I'm not going to lie. But let's talk about Jinder. You talk about a guy that's come out of his shell. Okay, a guy that has finally realized who he is thanks to the booking. Amazing what a change booking can make for you. Doesn't mean everything. Doesn't turn you into a superstar. It opens the door for you to become a superstar. The right booking opens the door for you to shine, to flex your muscles and show what you can do. Well, Mahal has muscles, and he flexed them, and he said, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to make you hate me. I'm going to make you hate me because I shouldn't have won the belt, because I came from nowhere, because I don't like you and I don't like your country. And he's done extremely well. I like it. I'm down with it. Hardcore. A lot of questions surrounding Jinder as well. And the reason for that is, again, how long will WWE stick with this? I mean, how long do we expect the company to stay with it before they pull the trigger and take the belt off of him? My answer to that is simple. John Cena is going to feud with Jinder, and Jinder is going to lose the championship. Cena is going to break Ric Flair's all-time record of 16 wins, 16 world titles. John's going to become the 17-time world heavyweight champion. Now, long pause. I don't know how I feel about that. Rick's okay with it. You guys should know that. Rick's been okay with it for a long time. He and John are on good terms. To my knowledge, always have been. Rick has always spoken highly of John, and that's important. So everyone out there who is maybe losing their mind a little bit, let's just take some comfort in the fact that Rick's okay with it. You may not be okay with it. I don't think I am most of the time. But Rick's okay with it. And for me, it's gone far past, John doesn't work like a pro wrestler works. He works his way through a match instead of working a match, and he gets all this credit for having big match. Well, he has matches with big names, and he shows up, and he doesn't take a night off. So, of course, he gets credit. But if you put him back in the NWA during its prime, during Ric Flair's era, John Cena would have been a top guy. But, and no disrespect to anyone here, but he would have been a Lex Luger guy in terms of the body, the look, the smile, clean cut, white meat baby face, as they say. And that's what he would have been. But I don't think you would have seen the John Cena's one of the greatest. Oh, it's great matches. What a great. I just don't think you would have seen that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I will say this. He will break Flair's record. And it may not happen against Mahal. It could happen at WrestleMania next year, WrestleMania 34. But it's going to happen. Okay? And I pegged John to be the next guy to challenge Jinder. I was right. John's going to become 17-time world champion. If it doesn't happen at SummerSlam on August 20th, it'll happen next year. I pegged that too, and that's what I'm going with. So there could be one of your SummerSlam main events, John Cena versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. Baron Corbin is the X factor in all this because of the aforementioned Money in the Bank briefcase. Okay, so even if Nakamura were to beat John and go on to SummerSlam, to face Jinder, then Baron Corbin could crash the party after Nakamura wins the belt and make Nakamura look even rougher than he looks now. And I that's the wrong move, in my opinion. I get that you're trying to light a fire under Corbin and get him hot. I understand that. Completely know how the game works here. I get it. At the same time, you can't do it to the detriment of one of the biggest talents in the business today. Nakamura at his peak in New Japan, I would have put in the top 3 best workers in the world with Okada and AJ. And he has the capability to do that now, but they're not letting him do that now. Do you see what I'm saying? He's not getting to have 20, 30-minute matches with great talents. He's working Baron. Nothing wrong with Baron, but Baron's a kick, stomp, and punch heel. And okay, that's fine too. But if Baron and Shinsuke were to work an hour, you can be rest assured and be guaranteed Nakamura would be carrying that match from start to finish, and that's what he would be doing. So, how do I feel about Jinder Mahal facing either Shinsuke or Cena? I can go either way right now, to be honest with you. I really could, and I'd be okay with either one because I have to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best and hope that WWE as a company knows what they have in Nakamura and does the right thing by him, okay? Because there's a lot of other guys they're not doing the right thing with. Nakamura is capable right now of being a huge, huge mega star, and he is. A lot of fans love him, and they should. So I'm hoping he maintains his popularity. He keeps the crowd no matter what happens to him, but I fear for his future. I really do in that company anyway. But again, if he has an opportunity at the WWE Championship versus Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, and that's what he has, and that's what the company, you know what? Do it. Do it. Just go. And figure it out later. And as long as you let the guy be himself, take the reins off of him, let him work the way he knows how to work, let him work the way that gets him over, by the way, because he can get over. He's getting over every time he wrestles when he gets to work his style. Now, when he gets beat down in a 20-minute match and he's, the heel is taking 15 minutes of that match away from him, nah, that's not him working and showing off. That's him maybe being too much of a good little soldier for WWE, and I mean that no disrespect. So that's going to have to change, okay? What else is happening on the SmackDown side of the road to SummerSlam? How about Natalya going to challenge the SmackDown Women's Championship, Naomi? Okay, now the championship held by Naomi. So let's talk about this for a sec if we can. Naomi's a good champion. She's likable. She gets pop. She's not just getting a pop because of the glow up, the light up title. She got the Light Bright title now. Ha! That's what I'm calling it. It's the Light Bright title. If you don't know the Light Bright, kids, look it up. It was one of the greatest toys ever back in the day, and it didn't really do anything, but we loved it. I took my Light Bright and I used it as a spotlight in the basement when I was a kid, and actually tried to put on a rock band, a concert. I took the tape deck and turned it up, and for a brief moment in time, I was, Gene Simmons or Ace Frehley, or I was, John Fogerty, any number of lead singers. I was Bon Scott. I was Bob Seger even. Crazy. My mom had a very eclectic taste in music when I was a kid. which is to say I had some great music when I was growing up, thanks to her. So thanks, Mom. I owe you a bunch for that, because to this day I've still got a great eclectic taste in music thanks to her. She laid the foundation, right? But yeah, so Naomi and the light bright title. Natalya took a dig at her for it. Natalya's your new number one contender. And Natalya is going to face Naomi, of course, at SummerSlam for SmackDown Women's Championship. Okay, so how are we feeling about this? The common narrative among fans for just God knows how long now, how many years, Natalya's not getting anything. She's not getting enough. She deserves more. She deserves better. Goofy storylines, stupid character. She's being made to look ridiculous. I got news for you guys. I want everybody to listen up when I say this, okay? You can get in that company and you can keep your mouth shut. You can do as you're told, okay? Or you can speak up and say, I'm not doing that. You people have lost your minds. Let me do something. Let me do something here, or let me go. Cody Rhodes said that. They let him go. Cool. Do you see what I'm saying? All disrespect to Natalya. I don't know if it's that she just loves her job so much in that company. She thinks that she can't let it go. Maybe she believes that another company that won't have room or the kind of money she needs or the exposure she needs. I'm not going to put words in her mouth. Maybe she's been fine with her run this entire time. You haven't been, more than likely. Neither have I. Hence the narrative. Natalya deserves more. She deserves better. And now all of a sudden, again, 0 to 60, like they are with Nakamura. She's getting a SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, championship match. Now, everyone's, of course, is saying, oh, it's going to be a great match because of Natalya. Do not sell Naomi short. Naomi is another talent who's come a very long way since leaving the side of one Brodus Clay. She's done great things in the ring in terms of being able to, live in her own body, become her character, comfortable in her own skin. If she is maybe even compared to the men, she is perhaps the most comfortable in her own skin of anybody in that locker room. I don't see tense. I don't see stress. I don't see someone who's reading a script. I don't see someone who's faking emotion. That girl smiles and she lights up a room, man. And when she's in the ring, she is who she is. And you can like her or you can not like her. But I guarantee you're going to love her because she's extremely likable. And she's got that working for her. If I had to compare and contrast, Big Cass not getting over with me. When he looks in the camera and runs down Enzo or looks me in the eye and says, I'm not feeling it. It's not to say that I won't at some point, but today, as of this moment, I'm not feeling a thing. However, when Naomi looks me in the eye and she says something, that girl is completely comfortable in who she is, what she is, and what she's doing. And it's working for her. So don't discount her effort in this upcoming match at SummerSlam, because I think she's going to do just fine. And I think both ladies will put on a good match. Who should win, Tom? Well, I'm glad you asked, fool. The easy answer would be Natalya, because she deserves it. They've not done enough with her. I'm not trying to mock the situation. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I've heard it for so long. And yes, I've written those columns before myself. But after a while, my take on Natalya is they don't want her to be on top. Okay? They want her to be there for the other women to bounce off of, to work with. She can be a mentor. She can always turn in a 5-star match whenever you need her to. And if you don't want to book her tonight, you don't have to. But she's there if you need her. You've got to fill time, and she'll give you a good match. And again, no disrespect. That's just my take on it. And maybe I'm dead wrong. Who knows? But should she win? Easy money says yes. But my money's on Naomi to retain. I don't think Naomi's going to lose the championship right now. I think that she's just getting started in her run. I think it'd be silly to take that belt off her now, even if it is the Light Rock title. And by the way, if we get too upset, let's not forget how John Cena changed the WWE Championship. Thanks to John, or what they thought for John, the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, the Women's Championships, all have the great big WW in the freaking center of them. Big gaudy freaking belts, man. Right? Am I right? That started with John, thank you very much, with that friggin' spinner title. Thank you so much, John. And John had the Spinner United States Championship. Austin had the Skull Belt. Randy had a belt, didn't he? The Rock had a belt with the Brahma Bull on it. Who else? I'm trying to think of who else had a specialized title. Ultimate Warrior had different color leather for every Intercontinental Championship match he had for like 6 months or whatever it was. So don't lose too much sleep over it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too wrapped up in it. Yes, the belt's gaudy, but it was gaudy to begin with, in my humble opinion. So it'll be okay. Everyone just calm down. It's going to be a good match. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I am. I think both ladies are going to leave it all in the ring, as they say. And I do think Naomi retains. I think there's a lot more to this story going to happen, though. I'd be surprised if there was like a special guest ref, or it could turn into a lumberjill match. That I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if it will or not, but it'd be interesting. It'd be a way to get all the ladies from SmackDown on the card instead of having like a 6-lady tag or something that ends in 30 seconds. No one wants that. That harkens back to the days of the Bellas running the division. Thank God those days are over. Excuse me for breathing, but I just don't care for that at all. I just don't. I have seen through the hype. People talk, oh, Nikki's so good in the ring. No, she's not. Just my opinion. You could take her or leave it, man. Completely up to you. I'm not saying she can't have a match. She can work. But at the same time, I don't see what a lot of people, what some people say that it is about her. I'm just not seeing it. I think that her and her sister got in that company to get rich and famous, and that's exactly what's happened to them. And they use it as a springboard to do other things. And more power to them, I suppose. But, yeah, who knows. But, again, I like where, and just as a side note, man, I like where the division's at. The SmackDown Women's Division, in my opinion, is the worst of the two between Raw and SmackDown, simply because it seems like everyone's waiting for the cash-in. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's waiting for that to happen. They're waiting for Carmella to come running down the ramp, cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And it takes away from the product, in my opinion. Then you got Lana, who, by the way, at Battleground, she threw a couple kicks that just hit nothing but air. So if you were a fly in the ring, man, you probably got your head taken off. But you were the only one that was in danger, that's for sure. But I don't see it. They have a massive love affair with Lana. They always have. The minute they laid eyes on this girl, they said, oh my God, we have to make her the next big thing. We have to do it. We have to do it. Let me tell you something about talent that does not grow organically. Talent that does not grow organically does not last. WWE can push it, they can shove it, they can cram it all up down your throat and make you so sick of the taste you want to vomit. But it won't work. And that's why, because they're forcing the issue. Lana is a tough sell. No one likes her. The guys like her because she's hot. But look past that, watch her work. She can't work. Okay? She can't. Again, stomping, punching, kicking. And she brings it down, in my opinion. And it's never happened organically with her at all. They had an opportunity when she was with Rusev to show a different side of her. They chose not to do it. And then those two, were really, really smart and put on Instagram they were engaged when Storyline says they were apart. Again, that does care about kayfabe, folks. Don't lose too much sleep over it, okay? I do, and I need to stop. Trust me, it's my fault. It's a major fault I have. But I don't see it. I don't believe it. So in my opinion, the division on SmackDown is a little bit rougher than it is on Raw. Switching gears. Let's do this, shall we? Let's switch gears. Let's talk about the Raw side of the SummerSlam card to this point. And it's a very small card right now because, the road to SummerSlam is still pretty long. It's still a little under a month away. Easy for me to say. The Raw Women's Championship being defended by one Alexa Bliss against Bayley. Bayley had the number one contenders match against Sasha Banks. Sasha got some heat in that match. Did a little bit of heel action going on. Wasn't happy that she lost. People are waiting for Sasha to turn heel. And we wait quite a bit for these things to happen. And sometimes we're right, sometimes we're not. I don't know. I don't know if the crowd feels Sasha anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want to turn her because you want to do something different, I wouldn't do it. But if you want to turn her because you can sense the crowd wanting it, because the connection is not as strong as it used to be, then I say do it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think you could do it and make it work. Sasha makes a great heel. The same thing that makes her work as a face. The same thing that makes her work as a face makes her work as a heel as well. The ego, the arrogance. She still has those things. It's just that when she's babyface, it's called confidence. See there? Nice trick. When she's a heel, she's cocky and she's arrogant. You see what I'm saying? Her ego's talking. But when she's a babyface, she's fully confident in her ability. She's sure of herself. She knows what she can do. X, Y, and Z all day long. So the same thing that works in one regard works in the other. Now, what will happen? I don't think this story is over either. I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being a triple threat if Sasha got herself back into it at some point somehow. Who knows? But let's say it doesn't happen. What should happen with the Raw Women's Championship? A lot of people love Alexa Bliss. I don't dislike Alexa Bliss. I do like her. And Alexa is good in her character because she's very convincing. Do you know what I'm saying? When she smarts off, she's very cynical and she's very self-absorbed. None of that feels phony at all. It feels like the real deal. I think she does an excellent job of that, and she embraces her character. She embraces the heel aspect of her character, and she makes it work for sure. And I'm with that. I like her in the ring. I like her a lot. I like her a lot more than I used to. I think she's a good worker. Bayley seems to maybe be reconnecting with the crowd, which up until this match that she had with Sasha, there was maybe some question of whether or not she was reconnecting with anybody. And we all know that. Bayley's had her struggles. Bayley is a white meat John Cena babyface. And those faces have a hard time getting over because fans just can't believe that someone can be that good all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? Bayley is not, she's not believable because of that. Now, common sense logic says do what brung you to the dance. Do what works for you. And what works for Bayley is she's a hugger. Oh, she's a hugger. Right? And that's what they say. It's what they've said for a long time, and it works for her to a great extent. It does. However, in my opinion, I believe she's losing the crowd. But again, the match with Sasha, she got a nice pop. So I think it really depends on where she's at, who she's performing in front of. But fans want their faces to have an edge, to have some bite to them. And when they don't have any bite, they turn on them. I don't want to see that happen in Bayley. I like her a lot. I do. I think this match is going to be better than anticipated. I think it's going to be better than expected. I don't know what fans are really looking for right now from this or what they are expecting. But I would imagine they're just expecting a mediocre match. I don't think that's going to happen. I think both of them are going to give a good performance. Now, you know, they've feuded already. They had the kendo stick on a pole match. My God. I just want a pole on a pole match. You gotta get the pole and beat the other person upside the head with it, right? It's a pole on a pole match. My God, heaven. Ha. But that match was just, it was a beatdown. It was a beatdown. Bayley got beat down. So, you know, none of us want to see that happen again unless you just hate the girl's guts or whatever. But I think the match will be much better than expected. So let's get on to the men's side of the SummerSlam card at this point. And we only got one match, people, to talk about. You can speculate on other matches, talk about what's coming up, what you think might be coming up, all that good stuff. All in good time, my friends, all in good time. The Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Heavyweight Championship of the World. Is that how they're going to call it? I mean, I don't know. I don't think they've called it that yet. Usually it's just for the Universal Championship. And if Lillian Garcia says it, it's the Universal Championship. I don't know why. But she pronounces Championship. And I have no... It's like Japanese. Championship. I don't have any idea why. Terrible. She's terrible. She's really, really bad. Sorry. Do you hear my chair creak? I had to lean into the mic to get the point across. So the chair creaks. I got to oil this thing or whatever you do to a plastic office chair when it creaks. Throw it out and buy a new one perhaps. Write it off from your taxes, baby. I am in the office. I am in the studio. Thank you very much. This match is going to be a lot of weight. I mean, you're talking, oh my God, just do the math, 600, 860. Oh my God in heaven, this is going to be over 1,000 pounds, guys. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. It's a big one. Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, all vying for Brock Lesnar's aforementioned Universal Championship of the World, as we're going to call it here on the program. I don't know. First of all, this is going to steal the show. No matter what else they book for SummerSlam, this is going to steal the show. And I say I hesitated for a moment because I don't know about the outcome. But I will say this. This match is going to steal the show. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. Because you've got like 4 big, tough cavemen. You know what I mean? There's 4 big, tough cavemen fighting out for the last piece of meat. And it's a big piece of meat too, man. And that's what they're going to be doing. And because of that, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to see. And I can't wait for it, honestly. Fans respond to the brawl. Not all the time. Not all the time. But when Joe and Roman and Strowman, I like that. Joe, Roman, and Strowman, oh my. When they went face to face on Raw, that crowd popped, dude. They popped hardcore. Number 1, because they hate Roman. Number 2, because they love Joe. Number 3, they love Braun when Braun hates Roman. And Braun hates Roman all the time. Ha! But they popped hardcore because people love a good pull apart, and that's what they had. And you throw in Brock Lesnar to that mix, he's the X factor in this match, in my opinion. He's the one we don't quite know about, because how willing will Brock be to sell in this match? Ask yourself that question. I've already written a preview of this match, by the way. Of course I have. It's your boy here. Go check it out on Bleacher Report. It was published on July 25th. Predictions for each star in WWE SummerSlam Fatal 4-Way Universal Title match. Man, that's a mouthful. Ha! But it's very simple. Well, maybe not so simple. All 4 guys need a great night. Brock can coast through this. Roman can coast through this. And they're fine. They're going to be made to look good, so it will be great for them. Joe and Braun need this. By far. Joe needs it maybe more than Braun. Well, I say that, but Braun's in title contention for the first time. Has he ever faced Universal Champion? Go look that up. I'm not doing it. I'm tired. Ha! 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 But anyway, I digress. It's going to be a good match, man. Fatal 4-Way. And, as I said, Joe and Braun need a good night, both of them. How many of you out there would like to see Joe walk away with the championship? A lot of people are saying that Brock's losing this belt. I don't see it. And maybe it's just me not wanting to call it, or maybe me believing that it's not the right time to call it. I mean, I guess you could say that. Maybe it's true. Maybe all the above's true. Who knows? However, I don't see him losing right now, in my humble opinion. I think he keeps that belt to WrestleMania 34 when he loses it. Brace yourself to Roman Reigns. And here's why. If Brock were to lose that title and then leave the company, then Roman says he can put 2 guys out to pasture. You see what I'm saying? Bragging rights over Undertaker, bragging rights over Brock Lesnar. That's huge, man. That's huge. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking right now, Tom. Dude, what more does Roman need? Well, ask yourself this. How much have they given John over the years? They've not yet begun to fill up Roman Reigns' resume, baby. Not even by a long shot have they begun. They've barely started, man. It's coming. Trust me. There's going to be a lot more on the horizon for this guy than what you possibly can imagine. And you're all going to be crying just like Charlotte cries every time she doesn't get a 3 count in the ring. Doesn't that get old, by the way? Isn't that odd? Can you imagine that in any other friend of the guys? A guy's like, oh, God, I did get a 3 count. Oh, God, oh, no. Side note, sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. It's just weird to me. But yeah, a lot of you guys that hate Roman are going to be crying about it. But it's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. He's going to take the Universal Championship at some point. If it's not on August 20th, it's going to be next year, right? Him and John. I mean, Universal Champion, WWE Champion. Have you stopped to think about that one? All of you John and Roman haters out there. That both of your biggest enemies on the planet could become the top 2 champions in WWE. Think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. Let that stew. You just stew and simmer in the juices of that for a while and come back later and tell me how mad you are. Because I know you will be. Joe could win a SummerSlam. I'd be fine with that. Braun could win a SummerSlam. I think I'd be fine with that too. I don't see Braun winning the championship. And if he does win it, it's just going to be so Roman can take it from him. If Joe wins it, however, I don't think Roman's taking it from Joe. But I think Brock could take it back. Just my opinion. But here's what I'll say, and this is an easy way out. I say Brock retains. But if you put me on the spot and say you got to pick one, I say Joe wins it. That's just me talking, man. Another good thing about this match is that the heat for this match between these 4 guys is only just getting started. I mean, this prolongs the feud with Roman and Braun because evidently WWE wants to keep this thing going probably for the next 6 years or something. But in order to do that and to keep it interesting, you throw Joe in the mix, and that changes a lot of the dynamic between the 2 guys. Then you throw Brock in, it changes everything because now the company's second most important championship's in the mix. There you go. Again, dude, whoever you think's going to win, it's up to you. You make the call, you make the pick, whatever. But this match going to steal the show by far. And it maybe not in terms of, it's not going to be a technical masterpiece. I'm not saying that. Don't get twisted here. It's not going to be a technical masterpiece. However, it's going to steal the show because it's going to have a lot of hype around it. It's going to be hard hitting. Going to be smash mouth in your face, baby. Just like you like it, right? I mean, again, fans love a brawl. They love a good pull apart. They love guys just throwing hands and beating the living dog out of each other. That's exactly what these 4 guys are going to do, and it's going to be fun to watch. Trust me. Again, how much will Brock sell in this match? What's he going to do? How much will he sell? By the way, Brock doesn't get enough credit for selling at all. When he decides he's going to sell for you, it looks good. He looks like a boxer who just took a really, really hard hook, and he's like trying to come back from it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the truth. So don't underestimate his ability to make the match look good by selling. Brock doesn't get to sell enough because Brock usually squashes everyone in this path, man. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. He's going to try it during the match. He's going to get, I don't want to say shut down. No one shuts Brock down except Goldberg, and that didn't last all 15 minutes, right? But, at some point, Brock's going to leave again. And he'll call it something else. They'll call it something else. But the fact is, he's running out of stuff to do. Can we be honest? Who has he not faced that's a big name in that company today? Think about all the names that could even come back. He's already faced Rock, right? Only one time. You can always, I guess, do a rematch there. He's already worked Triple H. Brock versus Austin's never going to happen, so shut up about that. Brock's already worked the current guys, the current roster. Who's left, man? Think about that for a second. Who's left? No one, dude. No one. So this match is going to be, again, the most fun. It's not going to be a work of art, but it doesn't have to be. That's not what these 4 guys do. Not what they have to do at all. I'm looking forward to it. As I'm looking forward to SummerSlam. Now get this understood as well. Get this in your head. The road to SummerSlam just started, right? It just started. We're barely there. We're not even close there yet. I mean, again, it's less than a month away. They got a lot of work to do to fill up that card. Not going to be hard. I predict Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will team up to continue the rehabbing the friendship storyline, and they're going to challenge Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championships. My humble opinion. I think it's going to happen. I think they'll probably win too. Who else you got? Probably going to have the Hardys versus the Revival, maybe versus Anderson and Gallows in a triple threat tag team match. The winners face, the tag team champions. Just a thought, just an idea. But there's a lot of ways they could go on this card, a lot of things they can do. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to speculate. You can read my stuff. I'm going to start doing that here shortly anyway. Start speculating and writing about the road to SummerSlam, as this program's been about. Nice segue. By the way, we're going to wrap this sucker up and take it home. How you like that? I hope you enjoyed this, man. Again, have fun with it, dude. There's a lot left to go, man. don't hate on WWE for the things we talked about earlier. Just, keep it real and just enjoy the wrestling. That's all you got to do. So, real quick, man, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at TomClarkBR. You can follow the company on Twitter at Boink Studios. Check us out on Facebook at Boink Studios. Drop us a line if you have something you'd like to see covered on the shows. If you like something you'd like to see covered in print, online, just let us know. BoinkStudios@yahoo.com. Check out BoinkStudios.com, baby. Go check it out. Check out our sister podcast, Tom Clark's 30-Minute Fun Show and Tom Kyle's Comedy Action Hour. We do appreciate your business. This has been fun. It's been a blast. I've been Tom, and this has been cool and fun, and we hope you come back real soon. Again, we got to thank you guys for hanging in there with us. And when I tell you I've been getting some emails and some great response, it's all true. I'm not working you here, baby. But, yeah, and we do appreciate every positive comment we get, and we even appreciate the negative ones, too, and that we think you're out of your minds. That's a joke. Ha! But, yeah, man, this has been episode number 77. Again, glad that you were here with us. Thanks for playing along and having fun. If you got any questions, comments, words of wisdom, or comebacks, as I was going to say for some weird reason, questions, comments, words of wisdom, hit us up. Give us a shout. We'll try to answer any and all questions, comments, words of wisdom, or comebacks that you may have. How about that? Thanks again, man. That's it for us. We're out. We will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.